This conference will now be recorded.
Hey guys, good evening.
Good evening.
So, any doubts? Everything is done. The configuration is done. Selenium. Anyone still having issue?
Um, Thank you. I was able to fix the problem.
It's done.
I fixed the problem of connecting with
Okay.
Selenium, and I was able to connect with the WebDriver.
Okay. Done. Next. Anyone else? Done. Okay. So the next thing we'll see. Okay. So last class we saw how to open our browsers, Chrome browser and Firefox browser. Okay. Now, if you can open the browser, then we should be able to close the browser as well. Done. So today we'll see how to close the browser. Done. Now closing the browser, it can be a Firefox browser, it can be a Safari browser, it can be a Chrome browser. Any browser, whatever you want to close, how to close it. Now for closing a browser, we can either use our close method or our quit method. Now both the methods are present inside WebDriver interface. Done. So either of the two methods you can use to close the browser. Now let's take one example. Okay. Now let's create a new class. New class, close browser. Okay. So click on publish static void main and finish. Done. Now to close the browser, I need to open the browser first. Now first let's open any browser. Let's open Firefox browser and then try to close that Firefox browser. Driver equals to new Firefox driver. Done. Next is, once you have opened the browser, next thing that I need to do is I need to close the browser. Now to close the browser, I can use close method. Done. Now close method is present inside WebDriver interface and the return type of close method is void. Either you can use close method or else you can use quit method also. Now quit method is also present in WebDriver interface and the return type of quit method is void. So any of the two methods you can use to close any browser. It may be a Firefox browser, it may be a Chrome browser, it might be a Safari browser as well. Now let's run the script.
System properties.
That we have to use whenever I'm opening a Chrome browser. Okay, for Firefox, directly it will interact. The last class I told you. Okay, now system.set property will be used for Chrome and Internet Explorer. Okay, but if I'm using a Firefox browser along with Selenium 2.52 version, then it supports directly. But if I'm using a version 3 and above, then I have to provide the path of my Gecko driver. Okay, which I'll tell you in future. Okay, regarding that Gecko driver. This one, did you see? It opened the browser and it closed the browser. Okay, I'll run it again. Okay, browser opened, browser closed. Clear? Done. So quit also will work. Run it. Done. Clear? So both the methods are working. Okay. Clear? Any doubts? Now, still you're having problem with that system.set property. Again, I'm telling. If you are using Selenium version 2.52, directly it will support Firefox version 46.0.1. Okay, but for Chrome you have to use a Chrome driver. For IE also you have to use a IE driver. But if you are using Selenium version 3 and above, then for Firefox you have to use a Gecko driver directly. It will not support. Same goes with your Chrome also. You have to use the Chrome driver. Same goes with your Internet Explorer also. You have to use a IE driver. Done. Now we will be using Selenium version 3.11 in future. For that you have to use the version of Firefox as either 56 or 57. Okay, you go for 57. Done. But as of now we are working on this 2.52 and Firefox 46. Okay, so directly it will support. Understood? Now if you want to open Chrome, you can write both the statements and open Chrome. But as of now I'm opening only Firefox. Done. Clear? Next. Now what is the difference between this close and quit? When to use close method and when to use quit method. Now both the methods are used to close the browser, but when to use close and when to use quit. Now close method will close that browser in which Selenium has control. Okay, now if I'm using a close method, then Selenium will close that particular browser in which Selenium has the current execution control, whereas quit method will close all the browsers that is opened. Then let's take one example for this. Let's say I have a web page. Done. Now inside that web page, I have a link. Done. What operation you can perform on this link? You can click on that link. Now let's say I'm clicking on that link. Now whenever I click on that link, another web page is getting displayed. Web page 1, web page 2. Now where is this web page getting opened? In a new tab, or you can say let's take it as a new window also. Either it can be a new tab or a new window. Now here I have how many browsers or how many windows? Two windows or two tabs. First tab and second tab. Now tell me, if I use a close method, which browser will get closed, and if I use a quit method, which browser will get closed? Now quit if I use means both the browsers that got opened will be closed. Correct. Now if I use a close method, then which particular browser will get closed? Is it the browser 1 or is it a browser 2?
Browser 1.
How?
Browser 1.
I think
That
browser
means
2.
now
I
it
have
will
a
be
question
browser
in
1
here.
only. Yeah.
So web page 1, that means the window 1 was opened by the
Window
Selenium script,
by the Selenium script.
or
No, by the
then
Selenium
will
script only.
both of them will be closed?
If I'm using a close method, or if I'm using a quit method.
Close
Quit will
method will
close
close.
both of them, and close will only
Quit will
close.
quit will close both of them for sure. But I'm talking
Yeah,
about close.
close will
Now
close
here I
both of
told
them.
close that browser in which Selenium has current control. Let's say 100 browsers are there, or 100 browsers have got opened. Now if I am using close, all the 100 will not get closed. Then in that case, it is getting similar to quit only. Then there was no
For
point
close,
developing
it's
both
going
the
to close
methods.
number 2.
Yeah, the
Okay.
latest one
Now,
that is open.
okay, everyone is saying the latest one, but where is the control of Selenium present? Tell me.
In one.
I think browser 1.
Now, how to ensure the control of Selenium? That means in which browser Selenium performed the last task.
Okay.
Now, in whichever browser Selenium has performed the last task, that means in that particular browser only the control of Selenium is present. Now, the last task that the Selenium performed was
1.
that click. Where? In the first browser. In the second browser, did it perform any action till now? No, we have not performed any action in browser 2. It just got opened. But the last task that I performed using Selenium was the click operation, and that too in browser 1. Done. That means if I'm using this close method, my browser 1 should get closed. Again, if you want to switch from browser 1 to browser 2, you perform some action on browser 2. Again, if you use close method, then your browser 2 will get closed. Done. So wherever you will perform the action, there only the browser will get closed. Understood the major difference between a close and a quit.
So I got a different scenario. For an example, you are doing something, so you have Firefox open, and after that you run the script, and by the script you open the Firefox.
Okay.
So you have two windows now. So if you run the script and you have the quit method, is the which browser will close? The one that opened by the script, or both Firefox browser will be closed?
Wait. I didn't get your question. Now you are saying that I want to open two Firefox browsers.
One you did manually without script, without help of
Then
script.
manually will not be taken into consideration. Now the
Okay.
browsers which are getting opened through this script only, those browsers will get closed, not through the manual thing.
Okay, so quit method is still going to be applicable when it has opened by the script.
Script only, not manually. Manually you enter
Okay.
100 browsers. Okay,
Okay.
it won't bother. Okay, so the manual thing will not be taken into consideration. Only the browsers which are opening through the script will get closed.
Okay, now it's clear to me.
Okay, now here also see, I had opened so many browsers. Still, that quit method didn't affect my other browsers. Still, my browser
Okay.
Firefox is open, Chrome is open. Still, I was able to run the script. Now, whichever browser will get opened through the Selenium, that browser only will get closed. Done. Clear. This scenario over. Yeah. Now, real-time implementation I'll show you. Okay. Because right now you don't know how to click on any web element. So in future I'll give you the example for this. Done. Because for that you need to click on a web element also, which you don't know how to click. Okay. So in future, whenever you have understood how to click on any link, then I'll show you this example. Done. Next. Next scenario, how to enter the URL. Now, opening the browser is done, closing the browser is done. Now, next thing you need to do is enter the URL of the application. That is nothing but open the browser and enter the URL. Now, how to enter the URL of the application? So, for that, we have two methods. Okay, either we can use get method or else we can use navigate to method. Now both the method takes string as an argument. That means in the format of a string you have to enter the URL of the application.
So is it like
Navigate.
navigate parameter dot to parameter like that?
Yeah. Navigate method dot to method. Simply I don't have a to method. Okay. So I have to use navigate to which particular URL. Done. Now let's use this. Create a new class. Enter URL. Public static void main. Finish. Okay, now to enter the URL, first we need to open the browser. WebDriver driver equals to new Firefox driver. Okay, I'm taking Firefox. Whenever you do the practice, you do practice for both Firefox as well as Chrome. Okay. Now next is I will use get method. Done. Now can you see get method takes string as an argument, return type is void, get method is present inside WebDriver interface. Now here in the argument part you have to provide the string. Let's say https colon // www.facebook.com. Done. Now let's see whether this thing is working or not. Run the script. Okay, if any interview question asks how to open the URL of the application without using the get method, then you can say using navigate to method. Okay, browser is opened. Next thing is my URL should get entered and the web page should be displayed. Done. Clear. Web page is displayed. That is Facebook. Done. Next. Now let's use the other method also. Navigate to. So I need to use driver dot navigate dot to. Now here to also takes string as an argument or URL as the argument. Now here I can write https colon // www.google.com. Run the script.
So in here, you don't have to provide any parameters for the navigate.
No parameters for the navigate, only for the two.
Okay.
Okay, that means to which URL you want to navigate, that's it. No need to provide any parameter for that navigate.
Yeah, seems like Selenium is slower than QTP.
It's slower than it. See,
Yeah, it's
okay,
way slower, this one.
it will be slow. Okay, first thing is my net is slow a bit, but definitely even if your net is fast, execution of Selenium will be slower than QTP a bit. Okay.
By this time, you can execute the whole script in Selenium.
No, I don't know. I have not used QTP. I don't know how exactly QTP runs, but my net is a bit slow. Okay.
Yeah, I get
But
it.
even if the net is fast, I keep on using it in that physical classes. If I take, even if the net is fast, also still it will be a bit slower. Done.
Yeah, I can.
Clear. Okay, clear. Get and navigate. Now,
Mhm.
what is the difference between this get and navigate? That means when to use get and when to use navigate. Done. Now, using get method, I can only enter the URL of the application. Whereas using navigate method, I can enter the URL. I can refresh my web page. I can go back. I can move forward. Now these are the extra three functionality I can achieve if I'm using navigate method. But if I'm using this get method, only one thing I can do is only enter the URL. I can't go back. I can't move forward. I can't refresh the web page also.
So enter URL, then refresh, back, forward.
Refresh, back, forward. Now back forward means wait, I'll show you.
Navigating
Not
through the
here. Let's
browser.
navigating through the browser back and forward to and fro. Done. Now let's take one example for this. Back, forward, and refresh. New class, back, forward, refresh. Public study Wordman, finish. Okay, first let's open the browser. WebDriver driver equals to new Firefox driver. Now to go back and forward, I should have two web pages, correct?
Yep.
Now let's enter the URL driver dot. Okay, now let's use driver dot navigate. Navigate dot to. Let's say I'll use https www.facebook.com. Now this is one web page. I will use another web page as dot two. Let's say I'll use https www.google.com. Then now first it will open Facebook, then it will open Google. Now let's do a back. So to move back, I have to use driver dot navigate dot back method is there. Now what will happen if I move back? That means from Google, my control will go back to Facebook. Done. Now again from Facebook, I want to move forward to Google. Now for that, I have to use driver dot navigate dot forward. That means from Facebook, now the control will move to Google. Now once it reaches Google, let's refresh Google page. Now for refreshing, you can use driver dot navigate dot refresh. Done. That's it. Okay, now run the script. But you can't do all these things using get method. Enter the URL. Done. Now run the script. Now let's see. Now my scenario is, first it should open Facebook, then Google, then from Google it should traverse to Facebook, from Facebook it should traverse to Google, and again refresh Google.
So what's the interval between the to execute the next line of the script in Selenium? Is there
It takes a
any
few
interval?
milliseconds. Few milliseconds. No, it varies, but few milliseconds, like 10 millisecond, 15 millisecond, like this.
Okay.
Okay, see Facebook, then Google, then back to Facebook, then again to Google, and again it will refresh. Done. It's over. Done. Clear. Understood. Difference between a get method and a navigate method. Done. Next. Now let's open Facebook. Now let's say I'll open Facebook. Now once I enter this Facebook URL, can anyone tell me what is the title of this web page?
Facebook.
Title. Are you talking about this thing? Where is the cursor
Yep.
present? Is that the
Yep.
title?
Yep.
Okay. Anyone else?
No.
I think the toolbar, the header toolbar, which says Facebook
I
login or
Facebook
sign up.
login.
Okay. So this is nothing but the title of the web page. Facebook hyphen login or sign up. How to check? We can do a right click and inspect. Okay. Do a right click and inspect and completely move up. Okay. So inside header you expand. You will get somewhere.
Title.
It was there.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait. It should be there.
Above.
Okay.
It's above.
Wait. It's there. See, title is Facebook login or sign up. So this is the title. Done. Done. Now my scenario is I want to print the title of the web page. Okay, I'll enter any application URL and I want to first get the title of the web page and then I want to print the title of the web page. Done. Now to get the title, I have a method called as get title. Done. So this method is also present inside WebDriver interface. So get title method is used to get the title of the web page. Done. Now can anyone tell me what will be the return type of get title?
String.
It will be string type. Why? Because title can't be a integer. You can make it as integer, but most of the scenarios the title will be always string. Done. Now let's use it. Let's create a new class. Okay, I'll give the as get a title, class name as get title, use a public static void main, finish. Open the browser, WebDriver, driver equals to new, Firefox driver, driver dot get https www.facebook.com. Done. Here I will use the get title method. So driver dot get title. Now get title method is present inside WebDriver interface, and the return type of get title method is string. Done. Now what I can do is store it in a string type reference variable. Now string class should be imported from java.lang package. I guess you know this in Java. Okay, string class was taught. Now string class should be imported from java.lang package. So store this as a string type variable. String title equals to driver dot get title. Then that means it will fetch the title from the web page and it will store in this string type variable. Now how to print it? You can use SYSOU control space system.out.println. Now do I need to write title in this way, or do I need to write title in this way? Which
Without.
one will fetch me the correct
Without.
output?
Second.
Bottom,
Second.
bottom one.
The bottom one. That means without the double quotes. If I put the double quote, that means that particular thing will get printed. Done. Now run this script. Okay. So until and unless the web page is completely loaded, you will not get the output. Okay. So you'll get the output only when the web page is completely loaded. Done. Clear? Facebook login or sign up. Now, instead of writing 2 lines of code, can I use a code optimization technique and write it in a single line? Can anyone tell me how to write both the codes using a single line? I don't want to store that get title into a reference variable. Directly I want to print it. How to do that?
System.out.println instead of title, driver.getTitle.
Done. So inside of system.out.println I can use driver.getTitle. So what it will do, it will get the title and it will directly print it. It will not store it inside a title type string type title variable. So it will get the title and it will immediately print it. Done. So this is nothing but the technique of code optimization that we are using. That means we are optimizing our code. We are minimizing our lines of code. Done. Got it. Done. Done. Next scenario. I'll close this. Now, next scenario is print the URL of current web page. I need to print the URL of the web page. Now, for that, I have a method called as get current URL. Now, get current URL method is also present inside WebDriver interface. Done. Now, get current URL method is used to get the URL of the web page. Now, anyone tell me the return type of get current URL?
String.
it will be string, because URL will be always in string. How get method also we are taking the argument as string, to method also we took the argument as string. So here return type will be always string for sure. Done. Now let's use it. Now before that I'll show one example. Let's say I'll enter https www.gmail.com. Now this is the URL that I will enter. Done. Now let's see whether the URL is getting changed or not. Okay, mine was already logged in. Okay, one second, let me log out. Sign out. Now let's use http www.gmail.com. Enter it. Directly. Done. Now I entered www.gmail.com. Now can you see any changes in the URL? Now what I entered and what now it is showing me. It's a complete difference. Yes or no? I entered https www.gmail.com and entered. Now see, the URL is getting changed completely. See, can you see? Now let's print this URL. Okay, let's create a new class, get current URL, public static void main, finish. Let's first open the browser, WebDriver driver equals to new Firefox driver, then driver dot get https www.gmail.com. Next I will use the method. The method is driver dot get current URL. Now get current URL method return type is string and the method is present inside WebDriver interface. Now directly you print the statement instead of storing it in a string type variable. Directly print the statement is why. So you run the script. Done. Now let's check. Now see, this is not the URL that got printed. Why? Because during runtime the URL got completely changed. So this is the actual URL. It is getting displayed whenever the web page got loaded. Done. So instead of printing www.gmail.com, it printed this particular thing. Clear? Done. Next method we'll see. Now let's assume I want to maximize a browser. Done. Now how to maximize a browser? That means I'll open a browser and then I'll try to maximize it. How to do it? Okay, so to maximize a browser, I have a method called as maximize. Okay, maximize browser. Now, whenever I'm opening Firefox, by default, my browser is getting maximized. Okay, so what I will do is I'll open my Chrome browser. Okay, so whenever I'll open my Chrome browser, it won't be in the state of complete maximized. Done. I'll show you. I'll run this maximize browser. See, it's not completely maximized, this Chrome browser. Okay, and the size is not maximized. Then now what I will do, I need to maximize the browser. Done. So for that, you have to write a statement. Driver dot manage dot window dot maximize. So this is the statement that you need to use to maximize your browser. So driver dot manage dot window dot maximize. All the three are methods only, but all the three methods are interrelated. Even if you skip a method, your script will not execute. You'll get compilation error. Done. So you have to use all the three methods in a chain. So driver dot manage dot window dot maximize. Now let's run the script. But the actual method which is helping your browser to get maximized is maximize method. Done. Clear? Understood? Next. Now, can we minimize our browser? Now, this question, if it is asked, okay, then they are trying to catch you, whether you are a genuine candidate or not. Now, here only you will get caught easily. Can we minimize our browser? Now, most of the time, you people will think, okay, if we can maximize our browser, then we can easily minimize also. But is it practically possible? If yes, then why or how? If no, then why? Any idea? Can we minimize our browser? Sorry. Anyone?
Well, as of now, I'm in that state of mind where if you can maximize, why can't you minimize?
But think about the
So,
drawback if you minimize your browser. Now you have to think that also. What the drawback? You try it practically. Now think practically, if I do this, what will be the drawback? What will happen if I minimize the browser?
But
hmm.
when we open, it is already minimized window. After saying the maximize only, it will maximize. Once the control is gone, then we can't minimize.
No,
Because
let's say maximum.
the objects
Mhm.
cannot be identified by the script anymore because the windows will be minimized.
Objects will not be identified. Okay, that is another thing. Objects. I'm not talking about the objects as of now. That is
Okay,
for
but
sure. Objects can't be identified. Why? Because minimize. It's in minimize status. But before that, let's remove that objects thing or web elements thing.
Okay, is it
Only
because Is it because if the window is minimized, the further test steps will not be executed?
That's fine. It won't get executed, but why it will not get executed? That's my question. It won't get executed for sure, but why it will not get executed?
To be executed, the browser has to be open and display on the displayed.
If you can minimize it, you can restore also. See, practically it is possible. Manually also it is possible. See, I'm minimizing it. I'm restoring it.
Yeah.
But automation can be used that. See, very silly answer. Now I'll tell you. Leave. Now what I told, Selenium is used to automate which kind of application?
Web-based
Only web-based application. That means any application that is opening through a
browser.
browser. That only I can automate. That means the contents that are present inside the browser, in those contents only I can automate. Now tell me, manually if you minimize your browser, now what exactly you are getting? Now minimizing your browser. Now can you see the status of your browser? Now it's in the taskbar, yes or no?
Uh-huh.
Now taskbar, is it in the web based or a window based?
Window-based.
Oh, yeah.
Window based. It's
Waste.
in the desktop only.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Now how to automate again? Again I need to click on it to restore the session. Now Selenium, how will it automate a window based application?
Right.
So that's why that method only they have not developed in Selenium. Okay. So minimize method is only not there because of that reason. Okay, the new Selenium can be used only to handle the web-based application. That means I can perform the operation only on the browser, or not on the web, or not on the desktop. Okay, even if I develop a minimize method, it will work. But later, what you will do? You can't perform any operation only. So for that reason, they have not developed any method for minimizing the browser. So you can only maximize the browser, but you can't minimize your browser. Done. Clear. Understood. Reason. Okay. So here only, see, here we use this question to catch a candidate, whether he's a genuine or a fake. So see, if you know the answer is very simple. It's not like a rocket science that it's a big science we are using to know the answer. It's a simple answer. But here only some candidates will get confused, like why we can't minimize. They'll say no, okay, we can't minimize it. But why can't we minimize it? Okay, but if you ask, okay, why Selenium is used, they would have mugged up the answer and they'll tell you, okay, no, it's used only to handle the web-based application. Whatever action you want to perform on the browser, we can do that using Selenium. But if I minimize the browser, is it a web application? No, it becomes a desktop application. That means I'm not performing any action on the browser. I'm performing the action on the desktop by clicking on it, which is not possible using Selenium. Done. Clear. So minimizing the browser is not possible in Selenium. Done. Next. One last thing we'll see. Now let's assume the scenario is I will open Google by typing the URL https www.google.com. Done. Now after opening Google, verify that title is Google or not. Then first I need to open Google and then I need to verify whether the title is Google or not. Done. Now let's see. Create a new class, verify Google title. Public static void main, finish. Now first you need to open the browser. WebDriver driver equals to new Firefox driver. Then you use driver.get https www.google.com. Done. Next, what I need to do? I need to get the title of the web page. So you can use driver.get title. Done. Store it. Let's store it in a string type variable. String title. Done. Now here I need to do the comparison. Now for doing the comparison, let's use if condition.
Yes.
If now I have stored the title in a title type variable, so I'll use if title. Why? Because I've stored this title in this reference variable. If title dot, let's use equals method. If title dot equals. Now what is the title you want to give? Let's say I'll give title as Nivedita. If title dot equals Nivedita, then print pass else print fail. Now tell me which statement will get executed, the if statement or the else statement.
Else.
Else.
The else one. Now let's see. That means I'm expecting the output as fail. Okay, now the title is Google, but I'm comparing it with Nivedita. So it printed me fail or it executed the else condition. Now let's give Google as the title. Now, which one will get executed, if or the else one?
If. Oh, is the Google is capital letter or small
No, it's
lowercase?
a small one. It's a small one that I've given.
Now in the application,
In application, it is capital.
then it will execute the bottom else.
See, in application, it is caps. Here, I'm giving small.
So the bottom one, the else will be executed
The
Else will
fail.
get executed. Fail one. Why? Because it will
because
check the
Yeah.
entire.
Okay.
Okay. The no, case sensitive. It will be case sensitive. Equals method.
whatever given in the quotation, it will be taken literally. So doesn't matter what is
That's
scripting language you are using.
exactly. Okay. So equals method, you can say it's case sensitive. Okay. So whatever keywords are present, those things should be present. Done. Now, how to avoid it then?
Equals ignore case.
You
Equal
can use
ignore
equals
case.
ignore case. You can use if title dot equals ignore case. Now you can use Google. Then it will execute. It will ignore all the cases that are present and it will only check whether the value is correct or not. no matter whether it is present in uppercase or lowercase.
Equals ignore case.
Done. Pass. Done. Clear. Understood. Clear. Okay. So these are all the methods of your WebDriver interface. Done. Okay. So tomorrow, next thing we'll see. What exactly is a web element? How exactly we have to identify each and every web element? Done. Okay. And how to identify the HTML page. How to develop a HTML page also tomorrow we'll see. Done. Any doubts?
Thinking
No.
how should remember all these methods.
How to remember? You have to remember. I don't know any shortcut to remember the methods. Uh, See, you can do one thing. You can list the methods that are present under a class or under an interface. At least try to remember it. Okay, if under WebDriver interface, if today we have discussed 8 methods, you try to remember 8 methods. Okay, now remember, then you understand the functionality.
Yeah, I think I have
Okay,
to print a 30 by 30 poster with all these methods.
or else see, by the time I complete your Selenium, around 100 methods will be covered. Now you should remember all the methods. Remembering is different. Remembering the methods is different, and remembering the usage of that method is different. Okay,
Mhm.
so both the things are different. So you need to practice from now onwards. One time only you have to remember. That's it. Okay. See, these are
Hello,
all
Jeff.
simple methods. Yeah.
So all my programs are working fine with the Chrome,
Hmm.
but I installed the one you sent, the
Firefox.
Mozilla 46. It
Huh.
opens, but still it gives me the error.
Opens and still gives you error.
Yeah, but it won't open the further links like Google or anything. Just it opens the browser and it gives me the error.
Is it something like 127.0.0.1, something like that?
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah, that is the one.
Oh, then did you turn off your auto upgrade?
Yes, I did.
Wait, see, maybe it's still not done.
No,
Okay, share your
it's
screen.
right.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
It's somewhat, upgraded your browser to some new version. That's why. Okay, this one. One second. Yeah, two guitars. Both guitar different or same only?
Same only.
Okay, same only.
Yeah, but I'm logged in phone and also in the laptop. So
Rest those who don't have any doubts. So tomorrow we'll continue. Okay.
Okay.
We may leave. Yeah.
Thanks,
Chalo guys.
guys.
Huh? Bye bye. Yeah. Chalo. Bye bye. Good night.
It's taking a lot of time.
That's fine.
Now you can see.
That's what. Now you open your Firefox.
Yeah. My laptop is a little bit slow.
Yeah, that's fine. It's already upgraded, I guess.
It is taking long.
Now go to that hamburger. Yeah. Click on it.
It takes little while. Oh, okay.
See.
I think
Can
it's
you see
yeah, it's
the
it's
UI has
updated.
changed completely. Now click on
Okay.
help about Firefox. It's updated.
Yeah, it's updated to 67,
That's
65.
the
Sorry.
the latest one.
I
Okay.
did
So
change what
uninstall it.
uninstall
Uninstall.
and
Again
before
install.
before uninstalling we have to change that.
No, no,
After
no.
installing we have to
After
change that.
installing. After installing. Yeah. Or
Okay.
else after installing, just turn off your internet for a few seconds. Change the settings.
Okay.
Then you can turn on the internet.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'll do that.
Done. So
Okay.
it will work.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay then. Okay then. Chalo.
Bye
We'll
bye.
see you
Yeah.
tomorrow then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.